Hello, I hope you're well. For the past year, most of our conversations have in one way or another centered around the COVID-19 virus. Usually we begin with that topic and it becomes the topic also somewhere in the conversation. We speak about the number of oblates who have received the vaccine, the number who have died, the number who are infected. From November 1st to January 31st, in just 3 months' time, 12 oblates died, 9 of them from complications of the pandemic, if my projections are correct. We trust they are praying for us. Very special thanks to those oblates who risked their own health to minister to their fellow oblates who were sick with the pandemic. These heroes anointed them, visited with them, and even in some cases made sure they did not die alone. Thank you. Despite COVID, our many meetings do continue by Zoom. There have been several planning meetings, even just since the December council meeting. The administrative team met in January to plan for the province's future, particularly looking at leadership positions in the province that will be needed in the next few years. Pastors, directors, superiors for both our internal and external ministries. Basically, I can honestly say we are in fairly good shape, as we were able to identify about 60 oblate leaders, most of them under 75, in good health, available, ready, we hope, to take on various ministries that we were able to identify. These are leadership positions, and there will be more on that later as we continue to discuss this at our March council meeting and make plans for those who will need to be changed and new positions filled. I've written to the provincials of India, Sri Lanka, Zambia, Bangladesh, Cameroon, inquiring about their wish to send novices and scholastics this fall to our formation programs. The U.S. province, as you already know, assumes costs of tuition and room and board for all these students. They are a great benefit to our programs, teaching us about and learning from us our different cultures, ethnicities, ways of life, spiritualities, and internationality of our congregation. With the pandemic hopefully subsiding with the more vaccinations, we await further word if some of these students will be able to join us in the fall. We were very honored that Cardinal Wilton Gregory visited our Washington community, celebrated Mass for us on Sunday, January 31st. I had invited him to visit our 391 community when he first came to Washington. He was Bishop of the Diocese of Belleville when I was at the Shrine of Our Lady of the Snows. He thanked the Oblates, as he expressed it, for going to places in the world where nobody else wants to go. He thanked us for our presence in the Archdiocese of Washington and the good ministry that we do in some very challenging places of the world. He told an interesting story about Cardinal Francis George when he was Archbishop of Chicago and Bishop Gregory was Bishop of Belleville. He said that Cardinal George called him one day and was complaining about problems he was having in the Archdiocese, problems he was facing in the church. And after he finished with these complaints, Bishop Gregory said, "Now, Francis, remember, the Spirit is with the church. The Spirit is guiding and inspiring the church." And Francis then quipped back to Bishop Gregory, "Well, where was the Spirit when all those early Christians were being fed to the lions?" Typical Francis humor, I think. As you know, Raymond Wangala has been confirmed as the new superior in Zambia, and he and his council and treasurer were installed on Sunday, February 21st at Mary Immaculate Parish in Lusaka, thanks to Bishop Valentine Columba, who installed Raymond and his council. I wasn't able to go to the installation, but I have made plans to visit there in late March and early April. I plan to meet with the new council to see the projects that they have begun, which hopefully will move them closer to financial sustainability, and also review with them some of the new parish ministries that they are planning to staff. There are almost 70 oblates in Zambia. The future looks bright and promising with this new team. I'll report on the visit when I return from there after Easter. The new council members are Nebi Chanda Mutale, Max Mwachilea, Sidney Musanda, and Barnabas Simatende. Michael Kasonde continues there as treasurer. I'm grateful for their very generous service to the delegation. Billy Morell emailed me when he knew I was going there to take with me a pregnancy test kit. No, you're jumping to the wrong conclusions here. This was for the sows that Father Reagan is raising to ensure greater financial sustainability, to see whether or not they are pregnant, that there might be new piglets, and he'd be able to make some extra money. Louis Logan, our Superior General, officially convoked the General Chapter 2022, which is the 37th of our congregation, on the Feast of the Conversion of St. Paul on January 25th. As you know, the number of oblates in a given unit on the day that he convokes the chapter determines the number of delegates from each province unit who will go to the chapter. The provincial goes ex officio, and the U.S. province will send 2 other delegates to the chapter, 1 for each 80 members of our province. An oblate brother from the entire region also will be elected as a delegate to attend the chapter. More on that when the ballots will be sent out in a few weeks. Chapter 2022 will take place outside of Rome, and as you know, Father Logan will be completing his second 6-year term as the Superior General, and so we will be getting a new Superior General who will be elected at that chapter. We continue our discussions with the National Religious Retirement Organization with monthly Zoom meetings, and after last fall's Oblate meetings, Greg Chalawa will be presenting to the March Council meeting next week the 2 top options that you have chosen for assisted nursing care in the province. These options, remember, refer to assisted nursing care, not independent living. Greg and the task force will then look at these 2 options that the council chooses and look at the viability, the future viability of them being realistic options for the province. We just finished our Crocus meeting, the meeting of all the provincials and their associates from the region, the 3 provinces of Canada and the U.S. province. We met with the treasurers for this meeting, as we do at one of our meetings each year. And the main topic, though, at the Crocus meeting was renewal or restructuring in the region. This will also be one of the main topics at the joint session of provincials, provincial councils, treasurers, with the central team from Rome that will take place by Zoom in June of 2021. As you know, the topic of restructuring and renewal will be one of the main ones also at the chapter. And I think we made some progress at this Crocus meeting with the sincere hope that there is a way for us, several ways for us to plan to restructure. Looking at the wider congregation, some provinces become delegations because they're getting smaller. In many other parts of the congregation, delegations are becoming provinces, which is what will happen in Zambia at some point. And so to take an overall view of the congregation, certainly we see places in the world where we are growing, although here in the Canada-US region, we are becoming fewer, but also trying to join together more for ministries that are important and take priority for us. There have been a couple excellent meetings of younger oblates. It's great to see oblates, 20 or 25 of them gathered in a room with no gray hair. Those meetings have the purpose of getting to know one another, to plan for future ministries in the region, and for greater cooperation together. That joint meeting, obviously, as I said, will also be by Zoom because, of course, so many oblates have not received their vaccination shots as yet. The planners for the meeting, the joint session, have asked each one of us as councils and treasurers to submit responses to some questions about restructuring. So why do we think restructuring is important in the region? What factors, spiritual, psychological, emotional, ecclesial, ministerial, administrative, are telling us that renewal and restructuring is important? So looking at the region and our ministries, what gives us hope? What are our fears? What are our dreams? I would invite any one of you that want to respond to any one or to all of those questions to submit those to me by June 1st, as our meeting will take place in mid-June, again by Zoom. It was important to remember, too, that it was the delegates at the previous chapter in 2016 who were the ones that called for restructuring in the congregation. It was not the central team. And so it's important for us to develop a plan for this that we would present to the central team, or several plans for them to consider. How this will eventually play out, I'm not sure. I certainly will keep you informed. Congratulations to Scholastic Brother Stephen Montez and Brother Jean-Emmanuel Melancourt, who made their perpetual vows at the Blessed Mario Borzaga Chapel on Tuesday, February 16th. Art Flores, who's the liaison for formation from the council, received the final vows for these two in the U.S. province. Two other scholastics studying at Oblate School of Theology also made perpetual vows. I would have received their vows except that I had not yet received my second vaccination shot. Jean-Emmanuel completed a pastoral year with Quillen Boozy at St. William's Parish in Tewksbury, and Stephen Montez completed his pastoral year at the Cathedral in Brownsville under the tutelage of Mike Ames. Congratulations to Zane Nong from Botswana and Harit Mundal from Bangladesh, the other two who made perpetual profession. The pandemic has certainly taught us the value of electronic meetings to save expenses in the province. Meetings with the leadership of Zambia, our own leadership team meetings, provincial council meetings, National Religious Retirement Organization meetings have all gone well. I think we've learned a lot from the pandemic in learning which meetings can be done well by Zoom, but which ones also we want to be physically present for. I'm looking forward to returning to some of my visits around the province. Going to Zambia, as I mentioned, is certainly a priority. I've not been there since May of 2019. With the new superior and council there, I'm hoping that that meeting goes very well and learn much from them about the future planning that they are doing. I have asked Jim Brobst, the Vicar for Mission and Ministry, into reestablishing the Land Use Committee for the purposes of making recommendations to the Provincial Council regarding ecological concerns, environmental resolutions, financial matters, and land improvement from various properties in the U.S. province. In the U.S. province. Jim will serve as chair of that committee. The pandemic has certainly caused a major disruption in the number of retreatants who are coming to Leb Shemaya. At the March Council meeting, we hope to begin to reestablish a new Oblate community there. The hope is that we would have two other Oblates there with Andy Senseneg. There continues to be interest from some retreatants to go there, interest from Oblate School of Theology to do some future programming there, interest from the Corpus Christi Diocese with some realignment that they're doing in the diocese for us to do more ministry there if we have Oblates who would be willing to go there, which it looks like there might be. Again, more about that after the March Council meeting. Several Oblates have come to the province to stay. We are very fortunate that we get some great Oblates from all over the Oblate world, a real testimony to our internationality as a congregation. Thomas Klosterkamp arrived at OST in December. He is professor of church history there. Thomas is originally from Germany. He has served as provincial and also as superior of the General House in Rome. Felix Nyambe from Zambia is the associate pastor of Our Lady of Hope Parish in Buffalo, New York. Greg Gallagher is familiarizing him with parish ministry, U.S. style. Felix did some of his formation here in the States, so he's already familiar to a great extent with our culture and context. Abraham Chamese, also from Zambia, will be on the formation team at the Blessed Mario Borzaga residence in San Antonio. We hope that he will be arriving next month. He's now waiting for a visa at the embassy. Art Flores, Vicar for Personnel, will be updating us on the progress of Oblates from Zambia who will be ministering in the Archdiocese of San Antonio. We hope with 4 oblates from Zambia to take on 2 parishes in San Antonio. The finances, the stipends that they get from ministering at those parishes will help with the financial sustainability in Zambia. That effort will be headed by Humphrey Milimo and Hector Kavaluka, and then 2 other guys from Zambia who will be their associates. Nick Harding, who has been ministering at St. Ferdinand Parish in San Fernando, will be going to Cuba to assist Roger Halley, who has been ministering there for the past number of years. Roger is really looking forward to Nick's help with ministry in Cuba. George Latia from Zambia recently completed a master's degree in religious education in Sidara, and he will be joining Frank Kuchera to be on the formation team at the novitiate this fall. I'm very grateful to the Oblates in Zambia, who are very generous in sending Oblates here to assist us in our many ministries. I've been in contact with the Provincial of India, St. Eugene Province, regarding Vincent Adalaksami, a graduate of OST, who will come here to pursue a doctoral degree in theology and then hopefully teach at OST once he finishes that degree. His arrival is also a bit detained by the pandemic. Hopefully he'll be here in May to begin his studies this fall, possibly at Catholic University of America. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for the witness of your life as a missionary oblate of Mary Immaculate. You are in my prayers also. Happy continued Lenten journey. God bless you.